what's up you guys, it's Molly. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name is Molly and I'm a current freshman at the University of Alabama. Today's video is one I'm super excited to film for you guys because this time of year is the prime time for current high school seniors to be deciding where they're going to go to college. If you're considering the University of Alabama, I highly recommend you come. It is an amazing place. I have loved every minute I've been there, and if you've already decided to come, you've made an amazing choice. Some of you might be current high school seniors watching this still being very conflicted. Some of you might be high school juniors or sophomores trying to prepare your college lists, and you kind of want to hear from me a little bit about my experience being an out-of-state student at the University of Alabama and kind of a whole bunch of different aspects of that experience, like roommates, moving in, the Southern culture, like the change, making friends, basically anything you guys really want to know about the out-of-state experience at the University of Alabama, because it is definitely a question that I get a lot in my DMs. And if you ever have any questions about any of this that I'm saying in this video, or have any other questions, feel free to DM me. I try to answer as many DMs as I possibly can because I want to be a resource for you guys that are considering coming to the University of Alabama, so you guys feel as comfortable as possible coming, because I know for me, I was a little bit nervous heading to the South where I really hadn't ever lived or ever been very much, so it is definitely something that I really wanted to be able to help you guys with. One of the most amazing things I feel like about the university is that the majority of students are out of state, so this definitely is not you are the only one in this boat. There are a ton of out-of-state students that are planning on heading to the University of Alabama with you, so if you are feeling any anxieties, that is what this video is here to do. So any out-of-state answers, questions, they're all going to be addressed in this video, so without further ado, let's jump right into it. So I have a whole bunch of different categories typed up on my phone, things that people have asked me questions in my DMs and things. I just compiled a list of what I thought was most important to address, but the first thing that I'm going to address is the broad question that I feel like I got a lot of different variations of, and the question is it hard going to Alabama from out of state? My broad answer to you is no, not at all. The majority of students are out of state, so like I said a little bit ago, you all are, or the majority of you are in the same boat, and it is not rare for you to find out-of-state students and have out-of-state student friends, so it really isn't a weird thing. You don't feel like the odd one out or anything like that. Because Greek life is so big at Alabama, it definitely helps a lot of people's transitions into the new environment, because Greek life obviously is so big there, but those who don't participate in Greek life also have so many different clubs, organizations. There's so much to do in Tuscaloosa as a college student, so you really don't feel like it is hard to come and transition into the Tuscaloosa, University of Alabama area at all, being from out of state. So the first technically category I want to address is finding roommates, because I know this is a big stressor prior to heading to college, and for me it was very, very stressful. My biggest advice I can give to you about finding roommates is the Facebook group is your friend. Social media is your friend. I would literally like reach out to anyone you think you feel like you have stuff in common with, someone you would get along well with, and just talk to them, figure things out. For me, I had potential roommates that I thought I was rooming with, and then things ended up not working out. The roommate I ended up with, Ava, I love her. If you're watching this, girl, I love you. I'm living with her next year as well, but we kind of just both ended up not having a roommate, and we both like loved each other, and we talked and we like hit it off, and we had a lot in common. And I had a potential roommate at the time, and so I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but then that fell through, so I reached out to her and it all ended up working out really well. When you're reaching out to people, the best advice I can give you, whether those people that you're talking to are in state or out of state, ask the questions you need to know. Are they messy? Will they be okay with friends hanging out in the room? What time do they go to bed? Are they typically messy? These questions seem like really extra, but they're things that you really should ask, because it'll just save you so much energy. It'll just keep all that away from happening if you're just upfront about it right away. Honestly, be real, because you're living with this person for a year, and I think you need to do that. Another thing is, do not stress about finding a roommate. Like I said, I thought I had potential roommates and that fell through. I think twice that fell through, and I ended up with Ava, who I love so much, so it really all just happened for the best. I would just encourage you guys to be super open and welcoming to anybody that thinks they have stuff in common with you. If people reach out to you, be super nice, super welcoming, be open to anybody, because chances are you could room with someone who you never would have thought you would have roomed with, and you could end up being best friends. That's honestly the most amazing thing about college, is that you get to meet people from all over, and people that you've never really had the chance to meet, and you can become best friends. So that is definitely another really important piece of the roommate overall topic. The biggest question I feel like that I get for roommates and the room selection process is if you can save in a suite style, if you can save the dorm for all 4 people. No. The University of Alabama, I don't really know why they do this, to be honest, but they only allow you to pick one person to be your roommate, and the one person in the 2 that has the earliest pick day will be the one that picks the room for you, and they essentially bring you up with them so that your room is basically held for you when your one roommate picks for you. Typically, you'll try to find people with the same pick day and the same pick time, so that it's easy for you guys to navigate and pick a room at the same time, so you don't have to worry about that. That's how most people do it, and it works for most people, so I would just try to do that. I know it's kind of annoying because we were kind of frustrated about it as well, but that's definitely the biggest question I feel like I get, because because the move-in process and the selection process is a little bit confusing. So that's my answer to that question for anyone who is wondering. The next section of stuff I want to talk about is classes, because I know the University of Alabama is a very big school and some people might not want a big school if you are still like a junior or sophomore or you're in high school and you are not heading to college next year. Some of you might have already decided on the University of Alabama and you still kind of are wondering about this, so I wanted to put this in this video. Basically, what classes are like, it is entirely dependent on your major and what classes you decide to take. My gen ed classes have been pretty much between 75 to 400 people, so it really depends entirely on what you take. When you register for classes, it tells you how many seats are in a class, so that can give you a better idea as well. For my major, my journalism classes typically are only 25 to 30 people, so it is going back down to like what you would see in like a high school setting size, which is really nice, and I really like that because it makes it more hands-on, especially for a journalism news media major, because you have to do so much writing and you have to learn from like your professors, and it's not really just like a sit and lecture type thing. You're doing more writing stories, covering events, things like that, so it's definitely nice. For my major, I've definitely really enjoyed that. I'm also a psych minor though, and because psych is very, very common as a major and a minor, all the psych classes I've been in have been between 100 and 150 students, so those are a little bit bigger, but they also are more lecture style, so you're just taking notes and you take tests and things like that. It's not really presentations or anything like that I have been a part of. So that's kind of the answer to that question. Like I said, it entirely depends on your major and what classes you decide to take. If you are planning on being in the honors college at the University of Alabama, their classes are smaller. They have honor sections and a lot of different major classes and a lot of different gen ed classes, so you can definitely get the smaller class size if you're interested in applying for the honors college. That is another really important thing that I wanted to mention for classes. The next topic that I wanted to talk about is move-in. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier with the finding roommates, before move-in day you will have a selection day and time. The person in your roommate pair with the earliest pick day and pick time will pick for you two and will bring you into that room with them. I know because a lot of people are out of state, some people have to fly to move in. I drove because it was about a 13-hour drive. My parents took 2 cars because I had bought all my dorm stuff ahead and obviously I couldn't fit it in my tiny car. For me, for move-in day, I lived in Prez, and you pick a day and a time in like the 3-day span that you want to move in, and me and all my roommates moved in on the same day, which I honestly really liked because it was fun to like all move in together and have like all this chaos happening at the same time. But basically at your time, you literally pull up to Prez or whatever dorm you're living in, and the move-in people literally come over, all of your stuff in boxes for you, and take all of it up to your dorm for you. You don't do a thing. All the student physically does is goes and checks in, gets the room keys, and heads up to the dorm. So it's really nice. It's really not that stressful. They unload everything in your room too, which is so nice. So all you have to do is unpack it and organize it the way you want, which I was obsessed with because I thought it was going to be terrible hauling all of my stuff up to the 7th floor of Prez. Like that just was not going to be good. So I definitely really enjoyed that, and it was a really, really easy move-in process, and I absolutely loved that the university did that for us. The next topic might seem like a small one, but I have gotten a lot of DMs about this because a lot of people weigh the pros and cons of having a car at the university. Personally, I had my car, and myself and all my roommates did. We just liked having our car to take us to the airport when we had to go home for different things and stuff like that, so we didn't have to rely on a shuttle or other people to take us where we wanted to go. If you are allowed to have a car brought down to the university, if your parents are okay with it, I would highly recommend it. It's super nice because you're able to run a lot of errands and do a lot of things that you need to do. The campus is big. I feel like you definitely could still walk it. There are joyride services, which are golf carts that can take you anywhere around campus or on the strip for only $3 a person. So if you don't have a car, there's also Uber and Lyft and things like that. So it really wouldn't be too hard if you did not have a car with you. You also have, obviously, you'll make friends that can drive you around that have their cars. I honestly just really enjoyed it because I would go and do different things, get my nails done, have hair appointments. I would go grocery shopping and things like that I wouldn't want to have to wait for other people to drive me or Uber and do that. So it was really nice. I really enjoyed it, but there are definitely a lot of students that did not have their cars that were completely fine. The next topic is one that I feel like just needs to be addressed because obviously Alabama is in the deep south and the southern vibe is just sometimes something very new and very different for a lot of people. It wasn't a culture shock for me. I feel like it wasn't a culture shock for that many people. I have a lot of friends that are from the state of Alabama, and it wasn't even like a culture shock to start hanging out with them and like what their lives were like versus mine up north. Like it wasn't like that at all. It literally was such a seamless transition, and because like I said, the majority of students are out of state, so it really doesn't feel like, oh my god, I'm in the south. Like it doesn't feel like that at all. But I liked the mix. I feel like the mix is the best part because you meet people literally from all over. The one thing that is huge about southern culture is the football season. You guys already know, Roll Tide. I mean, come on, football season is so much fun. You dress up, girls dress up, you wear dresses, rompers, set really cute trendy clothes, and you just have so much fun. Tailgates are amazing. They're so much fun, but it is definitely a huge thing down there. So if you're a big football fan, get excited because it is literally like no other. I absolutely love it. My last topic that I wanted to touch on for you guys is probably the biggest one, and it is one that a lot of people have, I feel like, the most nerves about heading to the University of Alabama, especially being from out of state and far from home, is making friends. Alabama is a huge school, and that's one of the reasons I chose it, because I feel like a big school brings big opportunities and it brings more people for you to meet, more experiences for you to have. You get more of an opportunity to kind of be immersed into new things you wouldn't normally be used to, and I wanted the challenge to go away from home because I wanted to experience somewhere other than Pennsylvania, somewhere other than I know. So that was really a big thing that persuaded me to choose the University of Alabama. I did do a video on this last year, literally when I decided to attend the University of Alabama, so I'll link that down below if you guys want to watch that, because that was like me as a senior having no experience there whatsoever. So if you want to watch that, if you're interested, I'll put that down below. So like I was saying, obviously it is a huge school. There's so many different ways to meet people through clubs in different areas around Tuscaloosa, because there is so much to do. But something that I feel like I will always reiterate, because I just had such a positive experience with it and I think it had such an impact on me and my experience overall at the University of Alabama, was my decision to rush. I have more rush videos coming up for you guys talking about wardrobe, rec letters, everything like that, to help you guys from stressing out about that experience if you're debating it, if you're doing it and you're scared beyond your mind, because I know that's how I was. The decision just to go through rush, like being with your rogue high group and meeting the girls in your rogue high group that are all freshmen, all rushing just like you, and you just meet a lot of friends that way. The nice thing about rush that I love was that it was in the fall. It was right before classes start, so before literally your University of Alabama education even begins, you have a 100 girl plus PC in your sorority, and you have 400 new sorority sisters that just want to help you make your transition so much better, and you have all these friends that just want to be with you because you have values similar to them, and they're just excited that you get to share their sisterhood with them, and they want to be friends with you and have fun and make memories with you. So that was a really big thing for me. They made me feel really comfortable right away, knowing that I just had an amazing group of girls bond with and have as friends and go to class with. If you just take the rush experience, or just moving into the University of Alabama and being an out-of-state student as it is, and just be excited for what's to come, the friends you're gonna meet, the experiences you're gonna have, the amazing education you're about to like be a part of and have, and it's just an absolutely amazing experience. And rushing was a huge part of why I felt so comfortable, just because I found the amazing sisterhood that I did in Pi Phi, and it just made it so much better. So if you are considering rushing, if you are rushing, I think you'll have an amazing experience, and we are so excited to meet all of you. If you're not, there are so many different things you guys can get involved in. Dive in. That's all my best advice for you, is just immerse yourself in the school and the clubs and the different things it has to offer, because it is a really an amazing experience, and it will help you guys make so many friends and have such an amazing time at the university. Okay, you guys, that is everything for my out of state at the University of Alabama experience video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down below, be sure to follow me on all my social media so you guys can stay updated on my life here and at the University of Alabama and everywhere beyond. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.